What's up to everyone watching the show? Whether you are on YouTube or Facebook, rep your city in the comments. Today we have a very special guest, the mayor of Southfield, Siver. Last weekend on Friday, the mayor had some protesters in front of his home claiming that he took their houses from them. We will get more into that and his current run for re-election in a bit. Click like and share the show right now for us. We appreciate you and your support. Also call in. The call-in number is 248-854-9850. Shout out to Podcastic Studios and Groove Radio Detroit. Make sure you follow them on Facebook. They will have their website listed on their pages, and follow them there also. You are watching the Porch Talk Podcast, Shade and Shenanigans edition with myself, Rocky Road, Big Wit, Seneca Black, and GP. This is episode 54. Today it will just be me and Big Wit doing the show today. We figured we have an intimate setting considering.
I'm gonna actually be Whitney B today.
Okay, she's Whitney B. I'm
gonna
sorry.
be good today.
Okay.
I'm gonna be good again.
Make sure you stay tuned at 5 p.m. for Vitamin D. They will follow our show, and make sure you call in again at 248-854-9850 for them. You know it's going to be outrageous. They will be talking about how long should you wait before you move in with your partner. It'll be a shorter title, but I'm just giving you the gist of it. Okay. Watch Rants and Robes live on the Rocky Road Productions Instagram page on Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If I'm blocked, look for us on the Rocky Road Productions Facebook page. Make sure you tune into Sports Talk with Whitney B on Wednesdays at noon Eastern Standard Time. Subscribe to her website, mywhitneyb.com.
Oh, plug in the guest this week for me.
Oh, go ahead. You can do that because I can share the show while you're doing that.
Okay, cool. This week I have a special guest. I will be doing the show with the Lion Man. He is a well-known Detroit Lions super fan. So please, guys, make sure you tune in on all platforms: YouTube, Pocket, Spotify, Apple, my website, Sports Talk with Whitney B Special Lions Edition. Bam.
Right, so make sure you tune in. It's going to be an excellent show. We want you guys to write into the show. Write to us the shadiest or the craziest thing that's ever happened to you. It doesn't have to be about relationships, but a lot of times that's where the crazy shit be going on. This can be about anything. Like I said, we will pick 1 to 2 stories a week and read them anonymously on air. So you don't have to worry about us telling on you. We're not going to drop a dime on you, okay? You say. Email them to rockyroadproductionsllc@gmail.com, or you can go to our website and select the Contact Us tab. Underneath that tab prompts you to submit your stories. And one more thing, well, a couple more things. Rocky Road Productions has a goal of $200,000 for the build-out of a studio home for all of our shows. We ask that you please donate. Any amount will help. We are also giving away prizes for donations starting over $25. Refer to rockyroadmedia.com and click on the donations tab for more info. Also, once you get to the donations page to find out the prizes, click to enter to win $1,500 tab, and it will give you more information. You can stream us on Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, and iHeart, amongst many other platforms. We ask that you give us a positive review on Apple Podcasts, and you can access us on Apple Podcasts via the link in the bio of our Instagram page, or search us at RRP Porch Talk. Go to rockyroadmedia.com. That will show you everywhere you need to go. Shout out to Mr. Corn Beef on Woodward and Highland Park. Make sure you let them know that Rocky Road Productions sent you. The sandwiches be slapping, y'all, so get you one. They be slapping and they tender and everything. I suggest, I don't know, just me, get you a twister with some grilled onions, some Russian dressing, Swiss cheese. You can or cannot add the coleslaw, okay? I'm just giving you that tip. Take it or leave it. All right, now let's get to the interview. It is very important that we vote in the right people in these local elections. The local elections should be our focus over any other elections because they directly affect us. Okay? So, how are you doing, Mayor Siver?
Well, we're out every day walking neighborhoods and on a steady march to November 2nd.
Oh, that's a month away. So we are 1 month away.
And we can't wait.
That's cool.
I can't wait either. You are a wonderful person. But we... Huh? 54 what? Yep, episode 54. Shade and Shenanigans. So, what do you have to say to these accusations that you are stealing homes from under these citizens and that you have an agenda to remove blacks from Southfield, and they are calling it the Negro Elimination Program, when in fact you have the Southfield Neighborhood Revitalization Initiative? What do you say to that?
It's preposterous, absolutely preposterous, and it's really hurtful and disrespectful to all of our residents. I value all of our folks in Southfield, and my whole adult life has been as a supportive person for the community, as a teacher, administrator, community activist, volunteer, councilman, mayor. I don't have the issues that some people have and want to ascribe to me. Mm-hmm. If I had those issues, I probably would have been long gone.
Yeah.
You know, the whole thing is very absurd.
You got a hater neighbor. That's all. If you didn't have that hater neighbor, a lot of this would be avoided.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into some of these ludicrous complaints, and then I'm going to tell you how I know the mayor, and personally, I know this is very outrageous. There's a complaint about a man losing his home for $8.41. Another home was taken for $423. Residents are claiming they're being kicked off of payment plans with their homes being sold behind their backs. Some only owed pennies and didn't know, but still lost their homes. And something about a class action lawsuit against you and being in litigation, and you're accused of selling homes to Jewish families. Now, number one, let's use our common sense, people. How does the mayor have anything to do with your home? Are you not paying your taxes? Why would that be his jurisdiction to take your home? That's not even logical. And see, the thing about stuff like this is really crazy when it comes to us. One thing about my people that I love, we're very emotional people, and even though that benefits us in a lot of ways, it works against us and it clouds our judgment, because if anyone attacks us emotionally, we begin not to think logically. So all you had to do is get a few protesters in front of his house talking about they've been doing wrong. It's a racist issue, and boom, there it goes. Nobody questioned it. Nobody really thinks about it. And so it's crazy. So what do you have to say to this type of stuff?
Well, there is truth to it was a Raffaelli who had a rental home in Southfield. The city of Southfield had nothing to do with it. Tax foreclosure is the function of the Oakland County Treasurer. The treasurer does not want to take anybody's home, and they do payment plans, and they work with people.
Right.
But you don't pay your taxes and you don't keep up with the payment plan, then they're going to put the hammer down. Mm-hmm. And so in the very famous case, which honestly I thought was absurd for that small amount of money. Mm-hmm. But I think they cited on a principle that maybe wasn't, obviously in hindsight it was a terrible mistake. But again, the city of Southfield had nothing to do with this. Mm-hmm. The mayor, the city council, and the city administration can't take someone's home. The state law says you don't pay your taxes after so many years, and many times it's the minimum is 3 years that you haven't paid your taxes. Many times it's 6, 7, 8 years. I mean, there are people in Southfield that have been behind in their taxes as high as $84,000.
Ooh,
my God!
You know,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So, but this is a function of the county treasurer by state law. And the whole thing is done through courts. The county treasurer doesn't just say, "Give me the keys to your house, you're out." It has to be there's a show cause hearing, and there's a whole procedure, and people are notified all along the way. So, to target me or the city council is absolutely absurd. We have nothing to do with the foreclosure process.
Yes, and you know, even though he's the mayor, Ken actually happens to be my neighbor. Now, one might say, well, aren't you kind of compromised because that's your neighbor? Absolutely not. I've had some interesting neighbors, and I have an interesting neighbor. And if anything, that's how you really get to know people, them being your neighbors, you know. And I can definitely speak to his character. He's such a kind person, always on the foot in the neighborhood,
making it
around.
better.
He anything, if you need help, he'll assist. I mean, a lot of times, let's say you need even just a recycling bin, he'll offer one to you. He's just that type of person. He's helped my kids with things when it comes to school. He has helped Big Wit over here, or Whitney B, she want to be called today. He's helped her when she stayed with me. He's really concerned about the neighborhood, our safety, our well-being. You know, I mean, he wants order like everybody. We value Ken. I mean, since he's been the mayor, the city has been running seamlessly, and we don't need anything else. We need him to stay just where he is, okay? And these smear campaigns, I don't want to accuse anybody of who it could be, but I think that's a very cheap shot. I think that if you have to attack someone's character to win, then you really don't have, you couldn't have nothing worth running for, because I've never seen him attack anyone's character. I've never seen him run that one smear campaign, and I think it's very unfair. And if you knew Ken and knew everything about him, you would know how none of these things make sense out of all people. And I know there's evil people, and I know there's racist people, but that is not who he is. And I can attest to that. And
I just feel like in this situation, when it comes to a home, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody is not a homeowner. Even as a renter, you sign this lease or whatever, and it's rules that you follow in these contracts. So when does this become anybody's fault but yours? You know what I'm saying? At some point, and then all these people out there protesting on your grass, I literally would have cut the sprinkler on. I told Raquel to tell you to cut the sprinkler on because at this point, this doesn't become public property. Now you're on my grass. This is time for watering. Who knows? Yeah. That's neither here nor there. But people will waste their time for no cause. And like I asked her before, I want to really know how many people out there that was walking across your grass really voted. Because the problem is we get so emotional and we get caught up in all this stuff and we don't even vote. Half these people don't even like you and didn't never vote. Like she said, I mean, local elections are important, but at the very end of the day, we'll run with stuff like, oh, the mayor took my house for $8. We about to go protest at his house. It was so much more you could have did than to do that, and then for your trifling neighbor to be recording it for whatever reason. That's what makes it worse, because at the very end of the day, I feel like by that being your neighbor and all of the drama that she has brought to your block, if you was going to put anybody out, wouldn't she have been the first one? Like, let's just be clear. And I don't mind speaking facts. Y'all know how Big Wit can get. And I'm being very PG. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like, y'all got to do better. Like, people got to do better, period, because it's no way nobody's just coming to take your property, period.
Yep.
So, I mean, for $8, I mean, if you could get me a house for $8, let me know after the show, period. Because it makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense. And it's like, we want to be so emotional and rah-rah for our cousins, and your cousin didn't even vote. And that's your cousin's fault. Like, you're at fault for losing your house for $8. You're at fault for losing your house for $400. Let's just start there.
Exactly. And you guys, just so you know, because maybe people don't know, there is such thing called an escrow account. I do know that maybe some people deter away from those because they cost a little bit extra because of the convenience. But a lot of times you pay for convenience, and it will, if you got to pay extra 12 or 20, $50, $100, if it's going to keep you in your house, then I suggest you get you an escrow account. That makes sense. And to expound on what Big Wit or my Whitney B is saying today. Jesus.
My God.
She's absolutely right. First of all, you ain't got your shit together. Okay. You got all kind of nonsense going on. Don't put no spotlight on nobody else, baby, because if that beam come back on you, my God, what is there to really be said?
And what are we doing
gotta be
here?
careful when we live in glass houses. So we're gonna turn it back to, because I can go on and on. I'm gonna let Ken speak for himself.
How we started a program. I watched. I went up to Oakland County. I was very curious about the county auction process. So, excuse me. And about 10 years ago, I started to attend just out of curiosity, and this was in a very rough period in Southfield. Believe it or not, we had more bank foreclosures than any other community in Oakland County. We had 1,600 vacant homes a year for 2008, 2009, 2010. And what was happening to these vacant homes, because the banks and mortgage companies were holding them, they were being stripped. The house across the street from you, all the copper was taken, the appliances, even the dining room carpet was ripped up.
That's correct.
Light fixtures, everything. So what it was doing was we were losing house value. We had banks holding houses for 6-7 years with no maintenance. There were numerous houses in our neighborhood, but really all across the city, 1,600. And then people, what I saw happening was slumlords were buying up these houses. And in some cases, they did no maintenance. They rented the house, and they didn't pay the taxes. And I can go down a litany of things that happened. The slumlord that didn't fix the sewer line fails, and he pumps raw sewage into the backyard, and it runs downhill into the neighbor's yard. Another guy, he gets a house because his relative died. So he gets a house, and what does he do? He spends all his money down at the casinos rather than paying his taxes. That's a personal choice.
Yes.
It's exactly what you're talking about. Another woman loses her house because she decided to it was more important to give her daughter a big wedding. That was a personal choice. Right. Rather than keep the roof over your head. I mean, we all have our priorities. And so to get to where I watched this go on for years, and it was hurting our neighborhoods. And so I went to the city council and I said, well, many other communities in Metro Detroit, from Taylor, Redford, Wayne, Westland, Madison Heights, Hazel Park, Ypsilanti, they were all taking first right of refusal. Southfield was not. And I went to the council and I said, we should take first right of refusal. Now let me explain what that is. Under state law, when the county forecloses, you can then, local governments have first dibs on those properties. But they have to pay the back taxes. They don't. The county doesn't give you the property. So I went to the council, and the council approved taking first right of refusal. This is in 2016, and there were 70-some houses that were foreclosed that year, and some vacant lots. And I said to the council, we should take these houses, but unlike other communities where they turned out and bid the houses out to rehab companies, I said, let's get Habitat to rehab the houses, and that way we can control the standards by which they're being rehabbed. In Southfield, our program, we take lead, we take asbestos, we take mold. Any hazard is removed. We also do complete renovations. We don't cut corners. And what was happening with slumlords was they were maybe putting a little paint on a house
just
or
polishing
something.
it up.
Yeah, putting lipstick on a pig.
Right.
And then renting it. And in some cases, they collected the rent and they didn't pay the taxes because they knew they knew that the county would foreclose on them within 3 years. This was rampant in Wayne County. It happened in Southfield. So I wanted to put a stop to this because this was hurting our neighborhoods.
Right.
And so we created this program. The city council approved it. It's called the Southfield Neighborhood Revitalization Initiative. It is funded by the Southfield nonprofit. That's where the money comes from. And the work is done by the Southfield or the Oakland County chapter of Habitat for Humanity. And then the homes, once they're finished, are put on the open market. Now, many of the homes, the amount of repair they needed, because again, they've been vacant for years, or people were living in them that couldn't afford to keep them up. The amount of repair many times exceeded the cost of what you could sell the house for. The SNRI isn't about making money. Matter of fact, everybody that serves on the SNRI, there's a board. I'm not part of that, and the Southfield nonprofit housing corporation, which runs senior apartments. None of us are paid. We all serve as volunteers who are interested in providing decent housing for older people as well as neighborhood support. We have no employees. We hire an attorney, and we contract a management company, and we contract an accountant. So this charge that I've made $50 million, that's what one of the protesters was holding a sign up. It's just so ludicrous. None of us, not one of us, has received any compensation at all. And this is these are people that live and work in Southfield. They have an interest in neighborhood preservation. So in 2016, the city council voted to take first right of refusal. The SNRI, the Southfield Revitalization Initiative, paid the city back for the back taxes and fees. Same thing in 2017, same thing in 2018, same thing in 2019. The good news was there were fewer and fewer properties being foreclosed by 2019. As you know, the economy had changed. Mm-hmm. Then along comes COVID, and there are no, this whole thing was suspended. And it was only suspended because we're in a health crisis,
right,
and not people were not being evicted from apartments for failure to pay rent, and there were no foreclosures. So this has been a very good program, and 27 of the homes went to Habitat clients as affordable housing.
That's good. That's really good.
The other homes were sold at market rate. Some of them were a loss. And then 13 homes, because they had either, one house, for instance, was a marijuana grow house. It was totally trashed. This is, they were growing hundreds of plants in it. And so consequently, that house had to be torn down. 13 houses altogether were torn down. That's a total loss.
Yes.
For the program. So yes, some houses have been sold for more than the cost of renovation and the back taxes, but overall, the SNRI has lost money and no one is paid. And yet these people want to blame someplace else for their own failure to pay the taxes. And I'm sorry to put it that way, but we all have decisions that we have to make.
But I'm confused at why would it be your fault? Like, I don't know. Like, I can understand if it was a playground people kept coming to vandalize or something like city worthiness, but a house, it just still doesn't seem like we should place this blame on the mayor.
Or the city council, or anybody in the city of Southfield. They were actually this was a move to stop slumlords and investors and our number of rental homes spiked because they were buying these homes at the Oakland County property tax auction, and we went from roughly 1,000 rental homes in Southfield to 6,000. And I have nothing against rental homes. However, you get too many rental homes in a neighborhood, and the neighborhood loses
value.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
and it's neighborly. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
People moving in and out, it's not your house, so they don't care.
Exactly.
Some people not coming to cut their grass.
Exactly.
Yeah, all that stuff. I mean, you got people that stay here that don't give a damn, but we won't go there. So, speaking about ludicrous things, here is this paper here. I don't know. You can see it. Okay. And it says, all race and life matter. Real activism serves everyone, has the right to equal rights for all. No justice, no peace. So you got this ridiculous cartoon of Ken and other city officials here. And you got this little comic going on. And this is... Big Wit is looking at it, but this is what we're talking about of stuff that is just outrageous, right? And before I read this, I want to say this. We got to stop using the race card about everything because they are real racist. And if we use it on stuff that does not matter and is not relevant, then people don't take us serious.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, there are some real sick people out here. So please stop throwing this around. This is ridiculous. So here's the little conversation on this comic here. Hey, Fred, we're getting rich. The dumbass white folks believe anything I tell them and using the MLK task force for cover, and the dumb Negroes are just too divided and stupid to see what we're doing to them. So, yes, Ken, the residents of Southfield, they are pretty fucking stupid, and especially those 5 dumb Negroes on the city council. We can pull anything over their heads. What do you think, Mandelbaum? Yes, Ken and Fred, using the Southfield neighborhood nonprofit in our appointed and elected seats has been financially rewarding to us. Let's just keep pissing on these dumbass rednecks and dumbass Negroes and get rich. Now, how ridiculous. Who came up with this shit?
And why are they spreading that across the neighborhood? Like, But
this is not even believable. Like
it's not believable at all.
The context sounds so crazy.
And ain't your running mate black too? So wouldn't this make her a racist as well?
Right, because
that's dumb.
The fact that
this
you
lady gotta be dumb.
Ooh,
my God.
And listen. Ken did not say that she's behind this, so don't start that either. And the reason why I didn't tell him to turn them sprinklers on, because that would have been something else. Oh, he's watering the black people.
He's watering
really
his
racist.
grass.
Yeah.
His sprinklers come on every day at 3:00. Y'all just happen to be there.
Right, but we get emotional. You know how this is. But this, I mean, if a black person wrote this, I'm really concerned.
Right.
That sounds terrible.
It is a African American who's behind this.
Okay.
You can read it and tell. I mean, from the way it sounds, and that's what's so crazy. And this is what you were saying about emotions. We get so emotional over the dumb shit. Here come Big Wit, because now I'm pissed off. We get so emotional over the dumb shit, and half of y'all not even getting the fuck up to vote. That's what's really pissy. Like, I literally myself have watched this man plant flowers amongst the freeway, about to get fucking hit by a car. But he want his neighborhoods and his city to look good. He want everybody to be proud to be from here. And then y'all turn around with this dumbass slander.
It's crazy. And not only that, he has donated flowers to my yard and helped my son plant them. Matter of fact, he has, for real, I had to go out of town. Now, this is how nice this man is. I had to go out of town. I had planned to go out. My mom was supposed to watch the kids. Her and my dad have this ongoing drama, okay? Whoever, one is going to say it's the other one's fault. I'm not saying whose fault it is. I'm just saying it was a drama, okay? So my mom backed out at the very last minute. Now, my son at this point is a teenager, but still, he needs some reinforcement to watch his siblings. Ken, he watched my kids for me, took them out to eat, everything, made sure my house was secure, all of that. He didn't have to do that. So, what are we talking about? How about?
But it don't even make sense. Oh, we taking all the money. We doing this like, oh, these stupid white people and these stupid like. Who sits around and have that kind of conversation?
Nobody.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Okay, you could tell a black person wrote that. You know why? Because a racist wouldn't have said Negro.
No.
No. A racist person would never have said Negro.
These Negroes and rednecks. No.
Negroes and rednecks.
Crackers.
No, it wouldn't have been crackers. Listen, let me tell you something. Here's the thing about real racism. Real racists don't touch, talk to, or be bothered with people that they're racist against. Feel me? They might be prejudiced. They're not racist. Mm-hmm. Racists don't want to shake your hand. They be like, good day. You know what I mean? And that be it. It ain't no touch. It ain't none of that. A racist, now you might have people who's very prejudiced who will smile in your face, stab you in the back. Cool. Yeah. But real racists don't want to be bothered with you. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to do nothing. Matter of fact, I've been confronted by real racists. I walk in the store and say, good day. Mm-hmm. They don't say nothing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And when I get to the counter, they don't smile or do nothing. I just walk out.
Yeah.
Oh, you okay?
And who cares? They don't, I don't feel like no one has to like me anyway. How about around the time when George Floyd was murdered? We watched him murdered. What came after that? And I was present for that also. That Kim was very passionate and had our city participate in.
Talking about the riots? Not the riots.
No. The peace rally. He's about to talk about.
We had 20 protests in the city of Southfield, all of them peaceful. The police chief, Elvin Barron, who's tremendous, and I attended every rally. And we came in peace. We came without shields, batons, mace, or, Yeah. And what we did was we talked to people, and then we were asked to speak, and people were like, really? You're here? Of course I'm here.
They thought you were still in houses, Ken.
This is all, we shared this same trauma. It was a terrible event. So with an organization headed by Sharon Jones, Urban Unity CDC, we organized on June 14th a Kneel to Heal event, and 400 and some people in the middle of the pandemic lined Evergreen Road with social distancing, unless it was with family. And at 3:15, we knelt for the 9 minutes and seconds, and that was our way of sharing our emotion, our grief. We needed to express how we felt.
Hold on, caller. 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, caller?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Fine. Thank you for calling.
What's up? This toxic. I'm watching. I gotta call in. I'm not being toxic today though.
I'm proud of you.
I just wanna. I also agree that letter is probably from a person of African American descent, but we got to remember the person that set Fred Hampton up was black too. It's crazy that we think we making a difference, but we making ourselves look way crazier.
Mm-hmm. Say that
with this stupidness, this craziness. But I had to call in and say something because I just thought when I seen this, I just thought of that. Like we are our own enemy in a lot of situations. Everybody thinking they trying to be a better person. Like whoever wrote that thinking they was doing better just made it look a lot worse. Made us look as ignorant as the real racists think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They sit back and laughing because they ain't got to do nothing. We doing it to ourselves.
Exactly.
Say that. It is embarrassing.
I just had to call in for a second.
Thanks, Tone. You crazy.
All right.
Now he introduced himself as toxic.
Yes, I love it. Yeah, but he's absolutely right. I'm sorry we had to interrupt you. Go ahead again.
So we had a summer of very peaceful protests, and there was no damage done to anybody's property, but we made it very clear that as a community, it's not okay.
Yeah.
It's not okay what happened to George Floyd. Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and on and on and on. I mean, the list is endless.
Yeah.
And I hope nothing ever happens in Southfield. And I believe under the leadership of Elvin Barron, it won't, because the first thing he did after George Floyd was he changed the police department policy to a duty to intervene policy.
Okay.
In other words, what we saw in Minneapolis was officers standing by
Watching.
right, as Chauvin murdered George Floyd and did nothing. And Elvin Barron, our chief, immediately went to the union, the police union. No one had an objection, and the policy was put in place, duty to intervene. And if you see something and you're a sworn officer and you allow it to happen, then you're out. There's going to be consequences besides to the perpetrator.
I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. To speak to what Toxic Tone said, he's right. Then we got another letter, like all of this energy.
They sending this stuff to residents?
Where is this stuff going?
That was passed out at the down at Cobo Hall or TFC Center at the State Democratic Party.
Y'all, never mind. I ain't even gonna say this.
Honestly, anybody that writes that much text, you kind of know they're not all.
Yeah, I mean, it takes all of this.
Yeah, and then all these wild charges in there, talking about the 14th Democratic, of which I'm endorsed by the congressional 14th Brenda Lawrence's district, as well as the Southfield Dem Club. Anybody that, they're charging there that the 14th district is the most corrupt political organization in the state. I mean, the thing is, it's annoying, but it's so tedious that this is what you got to do. And you'll notice on all of the literature, and there are 5 or 6 of these different versions, it's always the white devil. There's never a picture of anybody of color. It's always the white administrator, the white mayor, the white treasurer, the white councilman. And then it's also anti-Semitic.
Because it works. It works with people that are very emotional. You want to get a response. That works.
Yeah, but they're not going to do nothing but come protest on your grass. They're not going to fucking vote in a month. Well, that's the thing. Like, we've been voting for how long? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it just, at this point, this could have all been avoided if people would have voted anyway. Yeah. Or ran. Yeah. How long have you been running and had no running mate?
I'm a council member for 14 years. I won every election, and I've been mayor for 6.
And before that, weren't you on the school board?
No, I was deputy superintendent, and I was a teacher in Southfield schools, 50 years.
So we're talking about someone very involved in the community.
Right.
Like, very involved. So he sees it from all sides of the spectrum. So you're talking about experience on top of compassion and top of, he be footing it. We don't be footing it. I want to know, is the running mate footing it? That's what I want to know.
You see what the fuck she footing. Just to be honest, and I in no way Ken is in coaching me to say nothing.
Yeah.
But it's clear. It's very, very much clear that you can see what's going on. And it's crazy because our people, we're such followers. It's like we rather hear what other people say than do some shit on our own or do our own research or whatever. And that's what's sad. Like, it's just crazy. Like, let's just take away protests, people not protesting on your yard, but everybody going out here to protest and do all of this. What do y'all think these protests is doing but giving you fucking steps on your Apple Watch? Because you're not doing nothing to really change the situation. that very moment all them people was off in your grass, they wasted so much time because nothing is changing. I guarantee you, if this lady makes it in office and these people's houses is still going to be fucking foreclosed on, who's going to be pointing the finger at who?
Exactly.
That's the thing. Like we doing all of this over $8 and $400 to collectively. If they would have took up an offering in that motherfucking protest, then people would have probably had their house back. But instead, stuff like that don't be important.
And
if you don't got no friends in your life that can give you $8 to save your house, I don't know what to tell you.
And to be honest, I mean, whoever is behind this, which, I mean, who else would it be but his running mate, or even if the people that support him is doing this, I can't, in my good conscience, would want to even vote for somebody like that, because what is my city going to look like? Yeah, you already coming in here ass backwards.
And I'm sure if Ken was stealing houses or taking houses from people, he would have definitely got me from over the garage way faster than, you know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest, you know. I would have been way into a very nice house.
I'm done. This girl's crazy.
So I'm just being honest. If we got to get this girl out of here.
Honey, I mean, you wasn't throwing trash. Never mind.
You know, I know. This is why I'm trying to tell y'all, this man is not kicking people out their houses, because I know we got a public enemy, number one. This bitch is a menace.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so y'all it's just a shame, though, that I just hate that people. I told Raquel when she sent it to me, he should have cut his sprinklers on, though. So
it's a shame.
Y'all see where I'm at, because my sprinklers would have definitely been on. And people would have been mad, but oh well, this is my property. And you not in the street. You on my grass. That's the difference. Be respectful. If y'all gonna be out here protesting, don't come to my house with that shit, because I'm definitely cutting a sprinkler on.
But that speaks to his character. How kind, how patient, you know, how easy he is to dismiss certain things, because I couldn't do that.
Me either.
But that's the type of person you need in leadership, though, that can handle that, because the everyday person would have been like, because you know what, I was going to go over there and get irate. I really was. I was thinking about it.
It's a menace to the neighborhood.
I was going to get irate, but I was like, let me not do that. I don't want to, I don't want Ken to feel like I'm, over here tripping or overstepping my boundary. So I just politely got in my car and pulled off and went on ahead to some other situations we had going on. But
see, me, I would have been like, can y'all be quiet? I'm trying to sleep. Like, do this shit quietly. Have a little bit of respect for the rest of us in this neighborhood, because at the end of the day, his house ain't sitting on motherfucking 3 acres. We all live here. So be respectful for the community. You know what I'm saying? That's where I be saying why your neighbor is such a menace. Because you cause little shit like this, then you want to put it online, record and all this bullshit. For what? When, bitch, at the end of the day, when all these people leave, you still the one over here making the most noise and acting fucking stupid.
Well, again, Ken has nothing to do with these comments, and I appreciate Whit for hers. I want to make that clear, but he does not endorse, nor did he coach, nor did we talk about, nor did nothing. He didn't even know what was going to be said.
Because I got my own opinion, because I used to live over the garage. I know what the fuck goes on. And that's where I'm at with it.
So, anyway.
And I want all the smoke.
Okay. What else is, so now you're up for re-election. What else would you like the city to know?
Well, I am. We've had a very good 6 years during my term.
Yes. We
have made the city more walkable. We've added 17 miles of trails. We have put out. I'm a big believer in placemaking, make the city more interesting. So we have installed 18 public art pieces. We've added bike share. So that's on the livable side. Yeah. The housing program was absolutely necessary, and we're working on building more affordable housing.
Okay.
We have two needs when it comes to housing. I have a lot of older folks who's empty nesters. Their kids are grown. They're in a house with 3, 4, 5 bedrooms.
Okay.
Their church is here. Their friends are here. Their whole world is Southfield, but they don't feel they have a place to move if they want to get out of the big house, and they don't want to do the yard work anymore. So we're working on first floor masters, new housing. We're working on affordable housing for young families, and we're also working on market rate. We have 2 projects that we're working on currently. We've had a demographic shift. We now have more older people and fewer younger people.
Okay.
And so we've closed schools.
Yeah.
So I want to repurpose, and we're working on repurposing 2 of the closed schools into housing.
That's good.
Oh, okay.
That is really good.
I was hoping one day Brace Letterly will reopen because it was such a good school. But go ahead.
Well, if the kids aren't there, they're not there. But this is a John Gray school owned by the city of Southfield, and the other is the McKinley School owned by the Southfield Nonprofit Housing Corporation.
Okay.
That is... This school has been vacant for 6 years. It's been broken into. Things are overgrown on the site. There's poor drainage. So the plan is to clean this up and turn it into condominiums.
Okay.
Very attractive. The original part of the school is 1929. College Gothic architecture, and there'll be English Tudor homes next to it. 2-family homes that look like a single family home.
Okay.
They don't look like duplexes.
Okay.
And then with the John Gray School, that would be affordable senior housing, which in order to get into the 3 buildings that the Southfield nonprofit operates, the Woodridge, the McDonald Towers, and River Park Place, there's over 2-year waiting list, because people want to live there because it has services. It's all new inside. It's been totally renovated. New kitchens, new bathrooms. We replaced all the toilets with high toilets because older people have trouble getting up and down. Mm-hmm. We have walk-in shower, bathtubs. We've done all of this stuff. We added a whole number of wheelchair accessible units. We have a theater. We have a gym. We have a crafts room. We have computers. We have a library. You're too young. You're too young. And we have transportation and a social worker and all this stuff. So there's a 2-year waiting list. There are people that need this service. So that's something that we're working on. We hope to do a file in the spring with MISHDA. To get our plan approved. Making the city more vibrant, housing. And the third thing that I'm working on, we have to continue to replace our infrastructure. Mm-hmm. We have aged water mains. In some areas of the city, we had combined sewer and storm sewer and sanitary, which if you have these big rain events, you know what's going to happen. It's going to back up. Mm-hmm. And it's not rainwater that's backing up. Right. We are working on that. We've spent, by this fall, we will have spent $228 million on infrastructure since I've been mayor. And we need to spend millions more because we've got plenty of neighborhood streets that need attention. And then the whole Northland project. These are like some of my top things. I found the developer for Northland. We had people coming forward, oh, Ken, take this factory. We didn't want a factory. Oh, here's a logistics center, 200 trucks every day on our roads. These kind of facilities do not grow your tax base or your population. Mm-hmm. We did a community listing. We did a vision for Northland, and we are building now that vision.
Amen.
All right.
And I'm also a big believer in adaptive reuse. It's not sustainable to keep throwing everything away.
Right. Yeah.
So we're saving. The original mall is being saved by contour companies. Pennies will be torn down because it was riddled with asbestos.
What about Macy's? Because they had roaches.
Well, that's anybody that's been a long time it's Hudson's.
All right, Hudson's, Marshall Fields, all of them.
So it's going to be the Hudson City Market.
Oh, okay.
And on the first couple of levels, we're going to have food, dining, entertainment, home furnishings, retail.
Okay.
And we're having loft apartments above.
I'm never moving.
That sounds expensive.
The ceilings are 22 foot high.
Ooh.
So you can imagine what these loft apartments could be like. And so we're saving the original 1954 mall. And, it changed retailing. It created a whole worldwide impact, Northland. It was the first modern shopping mall. This development is going to bring it back. And it's still, we're keeping Northland name. It's Northland City Center.
Okay.
And as a community benefit, the developer is building a downtown police station.
Okay.
And building it and leasing it back to the city for free.
That's great.
Yeah.
Let me get a hand.
Yeah.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
So this is a very complicated project. It deals with a lot of tax credits to make it work. It's $403 million. And so the city will, it's a public-private partnership. It couldn't happen without public support.
Okay.
So we are going to be monitoring that for the next 18 years.
Okay.
So we'll be very involved in this and make sure that the developer lives up to the plan. You don't want to sell property to somebody and then they sit on it.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have an overlay, what's called an overlay development district, and we have design standards that they have to adhere to. Plus, the Brownfield Act, which is the tax credit mechanism for obsolete properties, we have to make sure that the activities for reimbursement are legitimate. So these are the city has a monitoring role in this project, and they will begin paying taxes starting next year.
That's
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
That's
really
awesome.
good, yeah.
Before we get out of here, can you clear up the whole thing with the billboard by the Sapphire building, just in case that's another shenanigan?
Again, the same person that wrote these salacious newsletters also had written that took a picture of a young white couple on a billboard in Detroit and claimed that I was behind that because I didn't want black people living in Southfield. And
Meanwhile, all the neighbors black.
Yes.
Meanwhile, all the
First of
neighbors
all,
black.
It's black people already in Southfield. Let's just go there. It ain't like they just start black people just start moving there. Black people, yeah. So I think people just pulling the race card again.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's definitely racist.
And if you don't put a race card, you cannot put it on proven proof that you don't have no proof.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's proven proof you don't have no proof.
do you know that there are actually African Americans living in Southfield? Yeah, I've researched the 1860 census. There were 17. I mean, this is farm town, not that. There were actually 17. Some of them were they were all freed slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And they were working on farms. Some had their own homes.
Yes.
And you talk about integration. They were living because when you're in those days, it's about survival.
Most definitely.
And so you're a team, and black and white people were living in the same house.
Yeah.
Because you had to make that farm go, or you're going to starve.
Right.
Wow.
The city of Southfield is only like 65 years old, as far as an incorporated city, correct?
Yeah, since 1958. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
So it's not even that. And that's anyway.
And he knows his history. Listen.
I'm really proud. I give you big ups for being able to be tangible for people to talk to, and I like to say I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm definitely proud of you too.
Thank
for
you.
being able to have the courage to come together and at least get it through.
This job is not about title.
Yeah.
It's really, I'm very approachable, and I think we all have to be genuine, our genuine selves, and that's what I do every day. And if you call me or contact me, I get back to you. Many times I show right up at your door.
Mm-hmm. He does.
I know. Listen, when you helped me get my daughter in school, I think I was crying that day and everything.
Mm-hmm,
I'm gonna tell y'all, Ken told me, listen, I'm gonna help you out, but as soon as you move, she better go too. She out of here.
Right, because so many people, and I understand that they want better education for their kids,
right. Mm-hmm.
but so many people falsify things and take the resources for those inside of that community.
Right.
And so that was the thing, I can help you, but he can't
just
be a part of fraud. He can't do that. That would look crazy on his part. So he really is a wonderful man, very wonderful, very kind, patient man. And we appreciate him. I told him, I said, if you don't win, which he will definitely win. Mm-hmm. I said, I will stroke out of here. So,
if you don't win, you're losing on what foundation and what principles? This bullshit?
Right.
No.
Our city is going to become the hood hop,
right.
Like the next hood hop. We just might as well go ahead and just bank on it. So if you want to live in a hood hop, if you want trash in your lawn, if you want people blasting music all hours of the night, if you want your houses broken in, if you want people not to give a shit, go ahead and vote for somebody else. But I'm telling you right now, if you want us to continue to live in peace, continue to have clean neighborhoods, continue to have clean water, continue to get this infrastructure that he then told you about Northland. And this is not something that he just started, because I have actually been to one of the meetings years ago when they were already talking about the thing for Northland. So these things have been coming up the pipe. This is not just for re-election.
That's why I can start now, because
right.
It's been in the works.
It's been in the works.
Right.
Ken is very passionate about what he does. So make sure you vote. When can they vote?
November 2nd.
Vote November 2nd or by absentee. The ballots are out anytime. And you can still apply for an absentee ballot if you don't have one.
I will be at the polls. Get your butt up and vote. Thank you so much for everybody who's watched this video. Please share it, and share it. Go to RockyRoadMedia.com. Make sure you subscribe to keep up with all of our content. Remember, your donations will help us to grow. Donate. We love you, and check you next week. Stay tuned for Vitamin D. They're coming right behind us. Thank you.